All right. Number 31st edition, I should say, of the Sports Mashup here on September 29th, 2021. We start in the NBA as always. And one thing here, the Nuggets signing another big contract. They signed Michael Porter Jr. to a 5-year, $207 million max extension, which kicks in 2023 and 2024. $32.1 million is what it will be then. So if you're wondering how they can afford this deal, it starts in a couple of years. So they can afford that. And they have other big contracts. Jokic, 31.5 this year. Murray, 29.4. Gordon making 16.4, but that'll go up to 19 million plus after the season. Will Barton making 15.6 this season. You know, I don't see Michael Porter Jr. as a max player at this point, but maybe he'll become that, and it'll look smart then.
What is he going into his second or third year?
I would assume third. It's not the second. It's got to be third or fourth.
His rookie year was, I think he was injured and didn't play very well a year.
He had a lot of injuries in college, too, at Missouri. This is a guy who was number one recruit coming out.
And this was a guy who was thought to have – he committed to Illinois, right?
He committed to Washington. Then went to Missouri. Didn't play at Washington.
Who was the guy I was thinking of that committed to U of I and then –
Jeremiah Tillman. Who was a loser, but this was his point.
And then Will Barton, he played what? Did he go to Memphis or something?
That's a good question. Will Barton played at Memphis, yes. Very nicely done. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, the Nuggets are, I think they're a mid-tier contender. In the West, could be top tier if Murray's healthy.
Yeah.
Paying a lot of money to some guys, though.
And they figure out the rotation with their subs.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll do some more NBA stuff in the next few weeks as the season gets ready to get going. On to the NFL, some notes from week 3. And, a lot went down, obviously. I think there's been a lot of kind of surprising results this season with the way games have gone. I mean, you started with the one that was obvious, the Panthers beating up the Texans to get to 3-0 for the first time since 2015. I mean, this was never a game. 26-9 just wasn't a game. No, McCaffrey did get hurt, though.
They lost McCaffrey with a hammy. They lost their first-round pick, J.C. Horn, to possible broken bones in his foot. So he's probably done for the year.
Not good for Carolina, but they're still in a spot where I think their offense will be – this is a big test for Darnold, though, not playing an entire game without McCaffrey. We'll see.
Yeah, but Chuba Hubbard looked good.
Yeah, we'll see how it's game plan. I mean, this week they play who do they play this week? I already forgot. I should know this. I want to say – I don't know what I want to say. It's Cowboys. Okay, yeah. Interesting game that'll be. We'll see. Colts, 0-3. I don't know what the hell's up with that. The Titans beat them 25-16. Derrick Henry's 353 rushing yards are the most through 3 weeks in Titans history. And, I mean, the Titans did not look good at all week 1. And the first half against Seattle in week 2, they didn't look great, but they're 2-1. So.
Oh, no. Well, week 1, Taylor Lewan, I mean, he was getting beat up by Chandler Jones in his first game back after his ACL injury.
Yeah.
And then week 2, he got hurt in the first quarter, so they had a backup left tackle in.
We'll see. I mean, the Colts are a confusing team. I would think that the Titans should have no problem winning that division.
And you want now you think, how long does T.Y. Hilton stay on IR? If his team's still doing bad, does he just make sure his body's all the way 100% before he comes back? Because if they were doing decent right now, he'd probably rush it.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The good thing for them is that the bottom of the division, you got 4 games right there that you should win against the Texans and Jaguars, but we'll see. The Giants, brutal loss. They're 0-3. Eli Manning retirement day as the Falcons win on a Younghoe coup winning field goal. Many winning field goals. on Sunday. And the Giants are 0-3, not good, especially when their schedule really kicks up here. They're going to be playing the Saints, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Bucks. So good luck to the Giants because they're looking at another horrible season, 4-13, 5-12, like after the they've been terrible since the boat party thing or whatever with OBJ and all those guys.
And bringing all those receivers in too, it's still like there's so many drops. Like Daniel Jones is not like the greatest quarterback, or he's not putting the ball right on the pinpoint mark every time. But half the balls that they're dropped are right there. Darius Slayton can't seem to catch a ball.
Yeah, I would think that Jason Garrett might get fired there. I could see that definitely happening at some point. And, I don't even really think that much of it's his fault, like you said, but who knows? Justin Herbert and the Chargers go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. Kansas City's 1-2. I'm not too worried about that, though. If there's any 1-2 team that you don't need to be worried about, I would think it's the Chiefs. And, I think they get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this. I mean, Herbert and the Chargers look good, though. I like that team a lot.
And they're just missing that big dominant tight end that they've always had.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what do they got? Jared Cook there? And Parham or whatever his name is.
Is
Donald
Cook
Parham
there?
Jr. Pretty sure Jared Cook is there, yeah.
I thought he was still in New Orleans.
No, New Orleans has Trotman or whatever.
Yeah, but I thought they still had Jared Cook.
Cook is with the Chargers.
I guess I just haven't seen him.
He's got 111 yards in 3 games, so that's probably why you haven't seen him.
But, they go from Antonio Gates, one of the best tight ends to play the game, to Hunter Henry, who started out his career good until he got hurt, and then he was just constantly hurt. But when he's on the field, he was used a ton. And then you now go to a deep veteran and probably a rookie or a second-year tight end.
Yeah. That's who knows? That offense is still going to be good if Herbert's out there. And I think this week they'll beat the Raiders.
Yeah, you still have one of the top 10 receivers in the league in Keenan Allen. And you still have Mike Williams, who's an underrated receiver.
Where do you think Herbert is in terms of quarterback rankings right now?
Right now, he's probably in the top 10.
I would have him like top 7. Because I think after –
well, I mean, you just threw it on me, so I just –
yeah, after Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady, Dak, I think is up there now. Who's the other one I was thinking of? Stafford, Kyler Murray, somewhere around there. But, yeah, I would think Herbert's –
Jackson.
Yeah, Herbert's up there. Josh Allen. Yeah, who knows? All right.
I mean,
Bengals,
Kirk Cousins looked good.
He's had a good season. He's had a good season to this point. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah, the Bengals dominate the Steelers 24-10 to get to 2-1. First win at Heinz Field since 2015.
Yeah, Steelers are something. I don't know. I mean, their defense does not look good. Watt's been out. They have other injuries defensively. They have injuries at the wide receiver position. They can't run the ball. Big Ben looks dead. Who knows?
I mean, their defense held them in that first game to get them that win.
They had more. They were healthier. I mean, Watt was playing. If Watt's not playing, they're in trouble. And they're staring down the barrel of 1-3.
I think they're underplaying that pec injury from Big Ben.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he just doesn't look good either way. I don't really think that's. I don't know.
I'm surprised they haven't drafted a quarterback yet to be his replacement.
Well, it's going to happen unless they get like Rodgers, which I've seen people talking about. Who knows? Justin Fields gets sacked 9 times, 1 net passing yard as the Browns beat the Bears 26-6. Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks. Yeah, the Bears' offense is bad, averaging 13 points.
Well, we called this. I said that watch Garrett and Clowney will have a heyday against him.
And they did. 9 sacks in a game is no joke.
And You had the Ravens win on a historical 66-yard field goal by Justin Tucker. It hit the crossbar, bounced over.
Lions, with typical Lions, it was like 4th and 20-something. Lamar throws it, gets a completion, then they set that up. Was it delayed game? Was it not delayed game? Who knows? But Ravens survive, and that would have been a really bad loss against the Lions.
And that final play they did, too, surprised me from the Ravens. Like, they didn't even attempt to throw like an out route just to get a couple more yards. Lamar just threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a weird one, but wasted some clock, I guess.
Like, I thought maybe they'd throw like a 4-yard out to somebody just to get something so it wasn't a 66-yarder, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just, yeah, the Ravens offense is a bit weird. I'm a little worried about them.
Just to kick from the opposite 44-yard line.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And he's the best kicker in the game for a reason, right? So
yeah, and he started off the game missing a field goal.
Then he made 4 in a row.
5
in a row. Boom.
Because they didn't score another touchdown. They went from 7-0 till 10, 13, 16. Oh, it's 4, yeah.
Mac Jones struggles. Saints beat the Patriots 28-13. First win at New England for the Saints since 1995. Not much for me on this game. I mean, Mac Jones struggled. One of the picks was, I think, Jonnu Smith pretty much tossed the ball right to the defender. That was a bad one.
Yeah, which was a pick six.
Yeah. So not great for the Patriots. I mean, I don't know what to think of them. I mean, it's hard with a rookie quarterback. I think we're seeing that everywhere.
And
There's no rookie quarterback right now that's playing that well.
My fantasy defenses are either the Patriots or the Niners. And I didn't want to start the Niners against Green Bay. And I did not expect this game after the way New England looked last week.
Well, they own the Jets, so it's kind of hard to take anything away from those performances at this point, since it's always an embarrassment one way. But who knows? Cardinals struggle in the first half, beat the Jags 31-19. First 3-0 start since 2015 for the Cardinals. I believe they went to the conference championship that year and got destroyed by Carolina. So good start of the year for them. Kyler Murray looks good. The receivers look good. There you go. The Bills bounce back again off of the Week 1 loss to Pittsburgh. They win again 43-21 over Washington. Ron Rivera's defense has been really bad there. So that was bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had Washington picked to win this game, or at least to cover the spread.
Yeah, their defense is bad.
What was the spread on this? 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. That's a tough one because you'd think their defense should be better than it is, especially with that front, and it's not. But there you go. The Jets are averaging 6.7 points per game, worse than the league. Second is Chicago at 13.7. After a 26-0 loss to the Broncos, 12 straight losses in September for the Jets. So,
and I mean, they're still missing Corey Davis and
I think it's Crowder that's out. I think Davis is playing.
Well, he came back then last week, and then Crowder's still out. Who started the year with COVID.
They're bad. It's pretty much all there is to say about the Jets. And the Broncos, yeah, they're 3-0, but they've beaten the combined teams that are 0-9. So,
but they've looked good offensively.
But how hard is it to look good offensively against the Jaguars, Jets, and Giants?
And their defense is holding strong even with losing Chubb.
Yeah, they're going to start to – I think they'll probably be still like a 9-8.
And they still got the steal of the draft getting Surtain when they did.
I agree with that, especially when Surtain wasn't even the top corner off the board when he should have been.
No, J.C. Horn was, and now he's probably gone for the year.
Yep. Raiders 3-0, thrilling win over the Dolphins on a Daniel Carlson game-winning field goal. So the Raiders also 3-0.
And first 3-0 start since 2002 when they made it to the Super Bowl. Lost to their former coach and my Buccaneers.
There you go. Kirk Cousins dominates the Seahawks secondary without Dalvin Cook as the Vikings get their first win of the season, 30-17 over a 1-2 Seahawks team. First loss in career against Minnesota for Russell Wilson. He was 7-0, including the playoffs. You remember the Blair Walsh field goal that pretty much got him that playoff win. So.
Which in the next year they signed Blair Walsh.
Yep, there you go. Here's your game. Stafford and the Rams continue to roll, 34-24 win over Brady and the Bucks. First loss for Tampa since week 12 of last season. Yeah. Rams are good. Very good offensively.
They lost to the Rams last year.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, one of the best receivers in the game now. He's had a great season to this point. Was that a Monday night game when they lost to the Rams last year?
I think so. And you also had Mike Edwards. He blew his coverage on that one. He came way in, and Deshaun Jackson took off for that. I think it was a 75 or 65-yard touchdown.
They tried that a couple times, trying to hit Deshaun Jackson deep in that game.
And it finally paid off, and it was his first touchdown as a Ram back home where he's from.
Must be nice for McVay to have a veteran quarterback that can throw the ball correctly. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he was quoted. They brought a quote during the game that he said that Stafford's made him a better coach and a better man.
That's a little thick there.
Stafford's, I think, 30 now, and McVay's 35. So,
well, similar to the situation in Green Bay, with Rodgers being 37 and LaFleur's like 40, so that's close to.
But LaFleur doesn't look 40.
No,
it looks like he's in his late 20s.
Yeah, he looks young. Shanahan, all those guys. Shanahan looks like he doesn't sleep, though, so that kind of changes it. But speaking of them, Shanahan and LaFleur, Packers won a thriller in San Francisco, 30-28 over the Niners. Mason Crosby, 51-yarder to win the game. Rodgers had 37 seconds with no timeouts in the final drive to win that one. I was wrong. Didn't think they'd win in San Francisco. The officiating, really, if we're being honest, is kind of what made this a game. I mean, the Packers are up 17-0. You have that drive for the Niners when it was 17-7, and 3rd and 10, Brandon Ayuk trips on his route, and they call pass interference. It's like a 50-yard penalty, which set up a touchdown after that. So they pretty much got from the 10-yard line to the Packers 40. So that was another bad call. Didn't call the Devontae Adams thing, which I didn't think was as bad as it looked, because I think it kind of hit him in the chest rather than the head. But I still think that that's usually something they would call. They didn't call that. You had the tripping call. That was a weird one. Don't really see tripping called in the NFL very much, but good game. Packers needed it. Rodgers was good again. So everyone can shut up about how he doesn't care and that they suck after week 1. But we'll see. Big one against the Steelers this week, and who knows? We'll see. Cowboys dominate the Eagles 41-21. Eagles ran the ball 3 times. I mean, that's so bad. And Dak Prescott shines with great games from Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the backfield. Cowboys look good. I think their defense looks better than expected. Trayvon Diggs is a stud.
And them moving Micah Parsons to defensive end right now with the injuries, they're questioning now, or the announcers are saying, what does the defensive coordinator do now when you get DeMarcus Lawrence back? Do you move Micah Parsons back to the Mike linebacker?
I mean, I feel like that suits him well, but I also think that he can kind of do anything. So,
I mean, he was all over the field Sunday night or Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he can do either well, I think. So
I might talk about him more because Penn State fans.
Penn State, right? Yeah, it's a luxury to have a guy like that that's versatile defensively. But NFC Week awards: Offensive Player of the Week, Matthew Stafford; Defensive Player of the Week, Byron Murphy for the Cardinals; and then Mason Crosby, Special Teams Player of the Week. AFC, Josh Allen, Offensive Player of the Week; Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Week; and, of course, Justin Tucker, the Special Teams Player of the Week. So no surprises there.
Is this the first trade?
In season, I think so. The one that actually matters. Jaguars, top 10 pick, C.J. Henderson from 2020. We talked about him possibly being traded a few weeks ago. He gets traded to the Panthers for Dan Arnold, the tight end. Love this deal for the Panthers, especially with the J.C. Horn injury. Makes a lot of sense.
I'll say I'm guessing the only reason the Panthers pulled the trigger on this.
Yeah, it makes sense, definitely, to do that. Sunday Night Football this week. Patriots, Bucks. Tom Brady returns to Foxborough. It's going to be a good game. This is one of those Sunday night games where I'm going to be locked in on it.
And I have a feeling it's a trap game. The spread's 7.
I think the Patriots cover that. I think I predict about 21-17 Bucs win.
That's why I say trap game on the spread.
Yeah, I think so. But then again, I mean, Patriots don't look good. I could see them getting destroyed here, but who knows? I don't really want to go against Bill Belichick when he knows Tom Brady more than anybody. So I don't know. NFL division leaders is what I meant to put on the doc. I put winners for some reason. Leaders after 3 weeks: NFC East Cowboys, NFC North Packers, NFC South Panthers, NFC West the Cardinals and Rams are both 3-0. AFC the Bills in the East. In the North, it's the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals, all 2-1. South is the Titans, and the West, surprisingly, you had to pick anybody, Raiders and Broncos over the Chiefs and Chargers. That is quite something there.
Yeah, and then Richard Sherman signs with the Bucs. I think the day he worked out.
Yeah, I mean, $2.5 million, I think, is the deal, so good for him.
I mean, I don't know which corner it was they lost early. Murphy Bunting, I believe it was. They lost week 1.
Yeah.
So they've been having, I think, Dean play, who's in their nickel corner. He's been playing about every snap. So this is a big signing for them.
Get a veteran in there. I don't know how good he is anymore at this point, but good enough, I think.
I mean, he's better than your nickel corner that's playing every down.
Yeah, I would think so.
And then Josh Gordon to join Kansas City after being cleared by the commissioner.
Every year he gets cleared and joins the team.
I did not expect him to go here, though.
Well,
he's basically filling in where they just lost Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, why not go there, though? The only places where these types of players go are Kansas City and Tampa.
I mean, he came back and signed. Originally, did he go back to Cleveland?
Seattle, he ended up.
Well, I didn't know if when the first time he came back to Cleveland. Then he went back and got booted back out, got cleared and came to Seattle, and booted again.
Didn't he play in New England?
Yeah.
Cleveland, New England, Seattle.
So he got booted, went to New England, booted, then went to Seattle.
He got booted, New England, then he stayed in New England the next season and then went to Seattle. Yeah, so interesting. We'll see if he actually makes it the rest of the season. I doubt it.
And they said he'll be able to play this week, but
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah.
No, he's gonna take him a little bit to learn that offense.
I think he's gonna end up kind of like Le'Veon Bell, like Le'Veon Bell was with the Chiefs last year, which does not do very much.
He's just gonna be able to draw a corner or a safety away on certain plays for Tyreek or Kelsey to go across the middle.
Yeah, I would think so. Okay, let's do some golf.
Yeah, they had the Ryder Cup Championship. The winner was the U.S.
Dominant win. Nice to get one. You know, they lost 7 of the last 9 coming into it. 19-9 was the final tally. This is future of U.S. golf. I think you saw a lot of young studs out there. Cantlay was great. Morikawa was great. Obviously, Dustin Johnson was the best on the team. Scotty Scheffler beating Rahm in singles on Sunday was big time. And hopefully they can keep it going. 2023 Ryder Cup will be at Marco Simone Golf Club in Rome. So got to win on their turf before we can really declare this as the future.
It was weird seeing all the stars from other sports there, like Michael Jordan and Steph Curry were there, and they had an interview together.
Michael Jordan's been to a lot of Ryder Cups over the years.
Oh, yeah. And he says his arch enemy is Ian Poulter.
Who I can't stand, by the way. Respect him, can't stand him.
I forgot which one it was he said he was at, and Poulter made a putt and stared him down.
I think that was at Medina.
Yeah, where they said that Jordan sparked their comeback.
Yeah, the U.S. had like a 5 or 6 point lead going into singles and choked it away.
So he says he does not walk with Ian Poulter anymore.
Yeah. There you go.
And then this weekend you have the Sanderson Farms Championship, defending champion Sergio Garcia at the Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Mississippi.
It's a fun tournament, and we'll get our picks in on that later. And now we shift to baseball, where Giants first baseman Brandon Bell has a fracture in his left thumb. Timetable uncertain. Big loss there. I also just saw that Brewers reliever Devin Williams broke his hand punching a wall during the celebration after they won the division on Sunday. So not great. Second best reliever on their team other than Hader. So big loss there. We will see. And your boy Harrison Bader, NL Player of the Week. What a week he's had. And then Giancarlo Stanton, the AL Player of the Week.
Yeah, my boy. The Cardinals clinched the NL wildcard berth. 17 straight wins, started on 9-11. 2 wins over Cincinnati, 3 over the Mets, 3 over the Padres, 5 over Milwaukee, 4 over Chicago.
This is one of those things where I was extremely wrong. I mean, I declared this team dead on many occasions. I didn't think that they would have a 17-game win streak in them, especially with the schedule in September. Like, they played the Dodgers earlier in the month, and the Padres are supposed to be this good team. They've collapsed. The Brewers are obviously good. They've beaten them a bunch of times. The Reds have collapsed somewhat. The Cubs are terrible. We know that. The Mets were supposed to be a team in the hunt. They've collapsed. So a lot of things have gone right, and now they find themselves in a situation where they're probably going to play the Dodgers next Wednesday and have to find a way to win that game.
Yeah, the top current teams, the Giants are still top at 103-54. They only lost 1 game since last week. The Dodgers are at 101-56, and the Rays are 97-60.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants are good, and it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Giants will lose to – if the Giants get the number 1 seed in the NL, they will lose to the Dodgers or Cardinals. So there you go.
Chris Bryant goes from being on the Cubs in a rebuilding year to this.
Pretty good. Yeah, I bet he's glad he didn't get traded to the Mets.
Same again with Rizzo. He does the same thing and then goes to the Yankees.
Yep. There you go. Let's do a couple NHL things real quick as we get ready for the season in a couple weeks. Non-major trade. The Blues traded Zach Sanford to the Ottawa Senators for Logan Brown, who's a St. Louis native, and a conditional pick that would return to Ottawa if Brown plays 30 games for the Blues. In terms of being a Blues fan myself, I like the deal. Sanford was going to have to go at some point. He was a punching bag for the fan base. He's just a defensive forward who sometimes scores goals. And Brown is a former first-round pick who is young and still has something there. I think if he stays healthy, it'll be fine, and we'll see. The Rangers will retire Henrik Lundqvist, number 30, on January 28th against the Wild. I believe tickets for that game are starting at $600, so hot ticket at MSG there. And then Jack Eichel gets placed on IR. He wanted a trade. The Sabres look so bad in this. He's no longer the captain of the Sabres. The whole thing's an embarrassment. I don't know what's going to happen, but
they put him on really IR bad. And then took his C away?
Yeah, and he wants traded. They won't let him get the surgery that he wants for his neck or whatever, and it's a mess. It's a mess. So there you go.
And then college football, the new top 25, Bama, Georgia, and Oregon State put at the top 3. Penn State goes up 2 to number 4. Iowa stays at 5. Oklahoma drops 2 to number 6. Cincinnati goes up 1 to 7. Arkansas goes up 8 to number 8. At number 9, you have Notre Dame, who moved up 3 spots. Florida moved up 1 to 10. Ohio State dropped 1 to number 11. Ole Miss up 1 to number 12. BYU goes up 3 to number 13. Michigan is at 14, move up 5 spots. Texas A&M drops 8 spots to number 15. Coastal Carolina goes up 1 to 16. Michigan State up 3 to 17. At 18, you have Fresno State, moved up 4 spots. 19, you have Oklahoma State, who was not ranked. Number 20, you have UCLA, who moved up 4. Baylor at 21, who was not ranked. Auburn up 1 to 22. NC State up to 23, to be not ranked after beating Clemson. Georgia Tech up 24, being not ranked. Clemson with a pity vote drops 16 and stays in the top 25 at number 25, which I believe this is where Texas should be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Clemson's been really bad. I don't even care about their schedule. They've just been really bad. So, all right, there you go. Let's do the picks now, and we start in the golf. Last week was a 9-13 week for myself. 4-4 in college football, 1-7 in the NFL, 2-2 in Major League Baseball, and I had 2 correct picks at the Ryder Cup.
I was 13-9, 2 correct picks in the Ryder Cup, 2-2 in baseball, 3-5 in college football, and 6-2 in the NFL.
All right, Sanderson Farms Championship. My picks to win: Sam Burns plus 1,400. He's the favorite. Sergio Garcia, the defending champ, plus 2,000. And Grayson Sigg plus 6,500 to win. Finishing top 5, Will Zalatoris plus 350. And top 10, Harold Varner III plus 350. So those are my picks at the Sanderson Farms Championship.
I totally messed up, by the way, in my betting for the golf. I picked 1 winner, 3 top 5s, and
we could look them up and redo that.
Yeah.
I think Burns, good value, plus 1,400, very solid golfer.
I have Burns I had him as my winner, and then I'll just move these 2 up. So I'll have Sergio at plus 2,000 and Sung J M at plus 1,600. My top 5 is Matthew Wolf at plus 800, and my top 10 is Charlie Hoffman at plus 200.
All right. College football. Power 5 conference games for me. I got in the Big Ten, Rutgers plus 15 to cover at Ohio State. Ohio State's not been very good this year. I'm taking the bait on the 0-4 Florida State minus 4.5 to beat Syracuse. They're due. I think they're better than 0-4. They probably should have beaten Notre Dame week 1. I mean, they've played a little bit better because Notre Dame didn't look that good. Big 12, Oklahoma, they're bound to cover something, right? 10.5 at Kansas State. SEC, Kentucky's been good for me this year, plus 8.5 against Florida. And Colorado's offense stinks. So in the Pac-12, give me USC minus 7.5 at Colorado.
I'm taking Virginia Tech plus 5.5 over Miami in the ACC. Texas minus 5 over TCU in the Big 12. Michigan plus 2 over Wisconsin in the Big 10. I don't know how Michigan's an underdog in this game. And then the Pac-12, I have Oregon minus 8 over Stanford. And the SEC, I have Texas A&M minus 7 over Mississippi State.
All right. The 3 primetime picks. Give me Arkansas plus 18.5 at Georgia. Too big of a number. I don't think Notre Dame is as good as their record. Give me Cincinnati minus 1.5 at Notre Dame. And the reason that's Cincinnati's favorite is probably because Jack Cohn might not be playing, starting quarterback for Notre Dame. And Baylor, big win for me last week, picking Baylor over Iowa State. And give me them plus 3.5 at Oklahoma State this week.
You got that 1.5?
For Cincinnati, yeah.
Okay, I had it at 2, so I'll change that. Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas plus 18.5. I'm taking Notre Dame plus 1.5. And then I'm taking Oklahoma State minus 3.5.
All right. Let's do baseball real quick before we get the NFL. Tomorrow, baseball, give me the Red Sox minus 240 and a must-win against the Orioles. Give me the Marlins plus 195 at the Mets, meaningless game. Give me a desperate Phillies team plus 135 at the Braves and a Dodgers team minus 180 against the Padres.
I got the Cards minus 115 over Milwaukee, Boston minus 235 over Baltimore, Miami plus 155 over the Mets, and the Angels minus 125 over the Rangers.
All right. NFL Week 4, Thursday Night Football. Give me the Jaguars plus 7.5 at the Bengals. They looked better last week than they had previous weeks against Arizona. I think they can cover this number. Maybe a 6-point win for the Bengals, maybe a 7-point win. But give me the Jags plus 7.5. What do you got for the Thursday night game?
I'm taking Cincinnati minus 7.5. We did talk about this too. This might be the first time in history that NCAA championship quarterbacks are going against each other within their first 2 years. Trevor Lawrence being a rookie, Joe Burrow being his second year. Pretty much almost his first year after tearing his ACL last year.
And in that national championship, LSU was dominant over Lawrence and Clemson. So there you go. Sunday games, I got 5 picks, obviously, as we always do. With this, give me the Chiefs minus 7 at the Eagles. I know the Chiefs don't cover very much, but they're going to do it at some point. The Eagles look like a bad team. Give me the Vikings plus 2 home against the Browns. They looked good last week. Give me the Rams to keep it rolling minus 4 against the Cardinals. Give me the Ravens plus 1 at the Broncos. Love that line. And the Colts plus 2 at the Dolphins. The Colts are desperate. They got to do something. So see if they can win this game.
I got Washington football team minus 1.5 over Atlanta. Colts plus 2 over Miami. Saints minus 7.5 over the Giants. Titans minus 7 over the Jets. And I also have the Chiefs minus 7 over the Eagles. Even though you just when you take a deuce, you don't look at it, you just flush it and forget about it.
As Jalen Hurts said.
That might be one of the greatest quotes an NFL quarterback's ever said.
All right, Sunday Night Football. It feels like a trap spot for the spread, as you mentioned. Patriots plus 7 against the Bucs. I'll take it. I'm trusting Bill to not let this game get out of hand.
I'm taking the Bucs minus 7. I think the Bucs defense is going to do wonders against Mac Jones, even though I like Mac Jones.
I would think so. Yeah, he looked bad last week, and the Saints defense is not the Bucs defense. And really, he wasn't that good against the Jets either, and the Dolphins. So, all right, Monday Night Football, Chargers minus 3.5 is a layup for me over the Raiders. The Raiders are not going to be 4-0. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
I as well took the Chargers minus 3.5.
And
I think these are pretty good Sunday night and Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, the Sunday night game is obviously going to be the big story, but pretty good slate overall, I think, for the entire week. Not bad. All right, that'll do it for us. Number 32 will come your way next week. We'll recap the week in college football and the NFL. We'll also maybe get a little deeper into the NHL and NBA when it comes to fantasy, just because I think people still look at that stuff, even though we're not that into it. But
yeah, might have some more college basketball coming up.
Yeah, we'll have that as well. And baseball will have the postseason. I believe we'll have a wild card game already over by then. The AL one is on Tuesday. So number 32 coming your way next week, and we will talk to you then.
Deuces.